Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having an absolutely fantastic day. And without any further ado, let's jump right into it. So, as always, it's very nice to see some optimism within the market. And rather, for some reason, a lot of people are making it a thing now to let all of us know that everything that's happening in the market is actually perfectly normal. So we've gone from hyper euphoria to near depression over grayscale, leveling out. And then we got to the point where people are once again throwing out the intense price predictions. But now we're at the point where, for some reason, similar to the last couple of days, a lot of people are letting us know that, like, as it rains from the sky, Bitcoin's price also moves. You think I'm joking, but that's literally what's happening. The current Bitcoin price cycle is apparently rhyming with the past three instances. This is according to a report published by on-chain analytics firm Glassnode. The last three cycles have apparently shown a striking similarity to their performance trends, and I'm not necessarily certain why this happens. Like, I honestly don't have an actual answer for you. We've had indications before that there's a lot of manipulation in our market, as there is in every single market. Cool. The weird thing is that our market tends to move almost like clockwork. If you've ever tried to organize a meeting, a party, a gathering, get together, an event, especially if you've ever spoken to someone who's tried to organize something with over like 300-400 people, it's quite tedious. It's near impossible, dare I say, to get everyone to coordinate at the exact same time and do what they need to do for that. However, the idea would then be that everyone in the market on the planet who's dealing in Bitcoin would have some type of a hive mind to be able to coordinate exactly when the prices are going to go up, when things go down, how they're going to be dealt with. You understand? If this is our, was it fourth or fifth cycle that we're in, and the prices have continuously moved the exact same way, nearly on like a month-to-month basis. Think of how difficult that would be to actually organize. However, for some reason, the crypto market, that's what I was telling you like a day or two ago. The comments, I saw them. I can read English. A lot of people were telling me, TMI, this is exactly what's supposed to happen. This is exactly where we're supposed to be. The price is supposed to move down. This is supposed to happen on this day. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then we had news from Scaramucci, who said something along the lines of, like, on the day of the halving, he said, look at Bitcoin's price. And he said, oh gosh, what was it? He said, look at Bitcoin's price, and exactly 18 months after is when the market will top out, if you will, and Bitcoin will be 4 times higher than the exact date of the halving, which is also something I'm going to be looking attentively at. But apparently, math is playing more of a part in all of this than I had previously expected, as we are exactly where we're supposed to be. I'm also, I'll tell you, I'm honestly hoping, obviously, for a, I would love a $100,000 Bitcoin by the time we get to the halving. That would essentially mean a $400,000 Bitcoin, and that would mean the altcoins are sky high. So I think that would definitely make a lot of people very happy, but I'm trying to be realistical when it comes to exactly how high it's going to be on the date of the halving. The last three cycles have shown a striking similarity to their performance trends. although the current one is managing to stay slightly ahead of the 2016 and the 2019-2020 periods. It says a deeper dive into the market's behavior reveals a robust level of resilience in the current cycle. Corrections from local highs have been relatively moderate, with the most significant drawdown, recorded at, it was apparently only 20% down in August of 2023. This resilience is further highlighted when comparing the proportion of days with deeper corrections across different cycles, showcasing a decreasing trend in market volatility over time. The 2017 period wasn't bad. As far as like 2018 when the prices went down, I remember 2019 being like, chef's kiss, like super depressing for some reason. I don't know why it sticks out in my head as this really weird, like growing pain kind of period where everyone was just looking at the market. And then we kept on getting stuff about like Bitcoin Cash Satoshi's vision, and the price was just like collapsing daily. That was a very, very rough period. So a lot of what we've been going through, I think even recently, hasn't been depressing as far as like blech. Like everyone's waiting for one thing. That is the 70,000 and the 100K Bitcoin. It's seemingly written in the stars. And I think everyone's just kind of holding their breath. I mean, don't go blue in the face. You got to breathe sometime for this one event. And this is what I think everyone's basically waiting for. But nothing thus far has been like depressing. It's just all kind of been I don't know. Here's a chart here. The colors, I don't know what's happening. It just looks a little completely all over the place as far as exactly what's going on. It says, yet, recent weeks have seen a downtrend in price momentum, influenced by the market's adjustment to the introduction of spot exchange traded funds in the United States. And they talk about where they think the short-term movements can be, or what they might be, or the actual true value. And they say that it's anywhere. They say the true market mean price is anywhere between 33,000 and 38,000, which is also where we touched down before, to 38,000 US dollars. I think this is it right here. Yeah. This is the insights thing we were just talking about. It says digesting the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust overhang, which I'm glad that we've lightly moved on from. A lot of the news, I don't have it in this video. It seemed lightly redundant. Is that the outflows are now being outpaced by inflows of money into the ETF funds as they continue to accumulate an egregious amount of Bitcoin. But yeah, it's nice to see the optimism is back in this sort of way. It's nice to see that people are, I don't know, everyone seems to be like just excited about the actual halving at this point, which is where I think we always should have been. It's nice to have the extra gigantic cherry on top with the introductions of the ETFs. As you know, if you have a couple of companies who have purchased over 100,000 Bitcoin in the course of a 2-week period, it's going to have a hyper positive effect on prices. But it's more of I got really annoyed at the entire grayscale stuff, so it's good to see us moving on a bit. That's the Glassnode, everything appears to be similar to before news. And yeah, let's move on. Okay. So one of my theories, and it's not so much a theory as a truthy, I don't know. Over the course of the last couple of years that I've been in the market, I don't know what it is other than people trying to time the halving or to time bullish cycles. A lot of cryptocurrency projects, I told you about a month or two ago, would begin to announce that they have updates and upgrades. Remember that? And then we started hearing a whole bunch of news that this coin is getting an upgrade and this is going to have this and 2.0 of this is coming out. And I was like, okay, everything's just on time. But then I said, what phase 2 is going to be is these companies and these coins and these projects would start announcing delays. They would start saying, well, the upgrade that we had planned can't happen right now, or the thing that we're doing, it's just not quite ready. And remember when I said when they would start announcing that these things would actually launch? For those of you who don't know, it is going to be 2 weeks before and or directly around the halving. This is the way that it always works. Everyone announces that they have big stuff coming up. It doesn't come up. The halving happens, bada bing, bada boom, there it actually is. I don't have it here. It also seemed like, who cares? Like we know that they're slow. The Ethereum team has also announced that the upgrade, or they're doing something with like 9 different test nets. Apparently that's going slower than they assumed, and it might take a little bit longer. And I was like, wink, I wonder how long it's going to take. Maybe like 8 more weeks until we get near April. Who knew that that was going to be a thing? So also in the news is another foundation who announced that they have updates and upgrades coming. But wouldn't you know it, they can't release it on time. That's crazy. The Stellar Development Foundation, or the SDF, has postponed its scheduled smart contract upgrade after discovering a bug in the upgrade. What? That's crazy. Why would that be a thing? According to a recent announcement published by the Stellar Development Foundation, the Protocol 20 upgrade, originally slated for the end of January, was delayed following the identification of a bug. Oh, well, hope they take care of it within the next couple of weeks. I mean, it'd be a shame if they missed a halving like every other company's been planning on doing. The Stellar Development Foundation made the decision after communicating with Stellar ecosystem contributors, I'm sure, because they wouldn't have just done that by themselves. Stellar first alerted the community about the bug in Stellar Core v20.1.0 on the 25th of January. This bug presented potential issues for applications and services using fee bumps in Soroban transactions, especially if Stellar's mainnet upgraded to Protocol 20. They said, when a Soroban transaction that will result in a refund is fee bumped, the refund is sent back to the inner Soroban transaction source account, of course, as one does with the Soroban account. You know, we all knew that, right? So cool. Stellar has made it back into the news. They haven't been there in a while. I think the last time we heard from them was maybe November. I want to say November, where we heard that they were going to have an upgrade and an update. As far as I know, we're still waiting for more information from the Cardano upgrade, which is, I think, also happening in the next couple of weeks. Wink. The Ethereum one, which is still being test netted. There was another coin. Was it Dogecoin? Which coin is trying to? I want to say Dogecoin. Shiba Inu and Terra Luna are doing. It was Algorand. Algorand is also, it's just so obvious. Like you sit there and you're like, just say that you're trying to do this to move your price up as we move closer to the halving, or even after the halving. But it's just the way that things are. A lot of these projects, I think, don't get a lot of recognition, airtime for a lot of the things that they're doing. So. Especially not Stellar, who's never in the news anymore, and that was a major thing years ago, where I was screamed at on a weekly basis that Stellar Lumens was going to not only take over XRP, but would eventually take over Ethereum and become the number 2 coin. And I just didn't see the vision, and I was like, yeah, so cool. That's the Stellar Lumens news. You know, we'll probably get news around like March 1st or something that the upgrade is coming, you know. I'd be shocked if it wasn't. Yeah. Let's move on. In what I want to call, I want to say this is like light obsession news. I'm not sure why this has re-entered the public consciousness. I'm not sure where this is coming from. I don't understand how people for some reason are obsessing over this all over again, as if it hasn't always been a thing. I've been seeing far too many people on social media, mainly Twitter, who are talking about these things as if we didn't know this before. I usually sometimes can write this up to newer people who are in the market or who just got in, who heard news about stuff before from 2017, 2018, and don't necessarily know how things work. I don't know if I'm really saying that entire sentence correctly. For some reason, a lot of people have a completely worn, skewed version of what's happening with Bitcoin within China. And this is one of the, if not the only article that I saw that actually had the correct wording. So for some reason, we've been getting extra news about China recently regarding the cryptocurrency market. And the news that people there are buying Bitcoin has kind of set people on this motion to be like, it's happening. We're going to get China into Bitcoin, and they're going to, it's for those of you who have been here with the channel, you may remember, I said thousands of times, at least 9,000 times, Bitcoin is not banned in China and has never been. Surprise! What's banned is cryptocurrency trading and speculating on the coin actively, not as like a buy and hold, as more of a running back and forth to the over-the-counter salesperson and selling depending on where the price is going in a quick manner, if you will. Mining is also illegal to a degree. It's mainly illegal for people who have not registered with the government. And apparently the news that we got years ago was that it's very difficult to actually go into the government to be able to mine yourself, and that a lot of the companies who are mining, we've been told, are mainly owned also in part by the government, and this is why they got or received their paperwork. So over the last 2 or 3 weeks, the news that people once again in China have been buying more Bitcoin, a lot of people were writing articles as if it was like some kind of defiant act of defiance. And these people were in the streets holding up cardboard with words on them and like, no, we won't go, or whatever people say when they're outside. And it's like, no, they've been doing this the whole time. It's just now you've got wind that this activity has also been taking place. It says, amidst China's economic challenges, which are plentiful right now, and stringent crypto regulations, investors are finding innovative ways, they say, to engage in digital currencies, signaling a shift in investment trends. As the Chinese economy faces downward pressures, which we'll get into in one moment if you want to hear about it, investors like Dylan Run have begun reallocating their portfolios towards cryptocurrencies. Run, that's a lot, who has shifted 50%, geez Louise, of his investments to crypto, has seen a 45% increase in his holdings, contrasting with the 3-year decline of China's stock market. The trend is not isolated, as more investors are drawn to the perceived stability and growth potential of digital assets like Bitcoin. The Chinese government's ban on crypto trading and crypto mining since 2021 has not deterred investors. It should not have. That was complete nonsense that was spread around. It was never really a thing or a ban. Life didn't really change for these people, except for the fact that, similar to other investments, if you've ever been with someone or you yourself have bought gold and silver, you typically go to like certain places and you have to like literally do it over the counter, like physically. And this is the way that people have also been buying Bitcoin within China. Utilizing small rural bank cards and capping transactions, individuals are bypassing scrutiny and accessing cryptocurrencies through gray market dealers. That's completely unsurprising as well. The main news is, and one of the major news stories of the day, has to do with the fact that people in China are still legally or grayly buying crypto. But even gray is also something that's probably not happening as frequently, as they have near but all digitized their money. Not in the form of the central bank digital currency, which they're trying to get people to use that no one wants to use, but nearly all transactions are already and have been for the past 15 plus years digital. They have an app, which encompasses other apps and other things where you can imagine anything you want to do in the day goes through that app. Even your social media goes through this one app. So everything you buy, everything you sell, all your money movements go through it, and the government knows everything that you're doing. So even if you, once again, a lot of the articles were talking about it as if people were meeting in dark alleyways or like who the fudge knows what they were talking about. But that money at some point, like it's not paper, it's digital. It would be digitally transacted, and it only goes through a number of apps that the government also has access to. So you would not be able to do anything under the counter or in a gray market because they have complete control over the finances of the country already. That's why I think a lot of people don't understand. I don't want to use the word total, but I think people really don't understand. For those of you who haven't seen why China's economy hasn't been doing too well, and also as to why people are becoming quite optimistic about their economy, I mean, rather the future of the stock market, is because they kind of put a lot of their eggs into like one gigantic, terribly built basket, where the larger part of their economy has to do with real estate. And they believed for some reason there was a frenzy of people just building cities and towns and all these other things, assuming that the population would continue growing at an exponential rate and that people would kind of gobble up all this new real estate incessantly. Like we need more real estate. But eventually a lot of these projects weren't being built, or they were being abandoned, and these companies went bankrupt because they were expecting the people down the street to continue buying the stuff that they made, but no one was buying the stuff that they made before, and no one was putting down payments for the new stuff that they were building. And since then, a lot of that has kind of like also the buildings that were being made. If you watch a documentary on it, I mean, it's not funny. They were showing this one family who had to move into kind of like the framework of the building. They were like, we have nothing. We put all of our money into this expecting like an actual home. The funny part, air quotes and not funny, was that the woman was showing how bad, like she was like, even if they had completed this, how bad the infrastructure actually is. She like punched her hand like through the wall. Like it was like, it looked like it was almost made of graham crackers. And she was like, if they had built this and we had lived here for a number of years, who's to say like how long this would have even been standing? And since then, as China has found a very clever way to keep money into their ecosystem with insane anti-money laundering laws, and also if you are a company, getting your money out of the country is nearly impossible, but no new money is now flowing in. So what they've now proposed is the idea of, similar to lowering interest rates, it's also kind of this, what do you call it? QE, quantitative easing, basically printing money to re-stimulate the economy. And as for some reason, every single economy together is all linked in this world, the idea is that if China does it, everyone else will have to do it, because China basically becomes a large indicator of the strength of the world's market. So yeah, that's the optimistic point. People are expecting the money printer to turn back on. The same exact thing within the U.S., but I think we have more time until that actually ends up happening. We're supposed to have at least 3 interest rates lowered over the course of this year, but it's going to be like 0.25%. So anyway, yeah, this is very, 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 very popular news. Like, I understand the optimism of being like, oh, we're going to have 1 billion people who have access to the market, but they've always had access to the market. These people have not stopped buying. It's just that they're buying over the counter. So we don't see their numbers on Coinbase, on Kraken, on Gemini, on Binance. That usually ends up being the issue for people. If people don't see it directly in their faces, they don't understand what's happening. A lot of times you can hear that Bitcoin is doing extremely well. It's transacting all this money. Tons of people are buying over the counter. But if people don't see these numbers on Coinbase, they go, well, nothing's happening. And it's like, no, stuff is definitely taking place. You are just not actually actively aware of it. Anyway, That's the people in China are still buying Bitcoin, have been doing so for a while, and we won't know exactly how much because the government has done a very interesting job of making sure we don't have that data. And yeah, let's move on. Also, can we stop? Can we please just stop doing this? I mean, like, just give us. I would love like a good six, like a solid 6 months of not having to deal with all of this. The idea of Ethereum ETFs is something that we've been dealing with over the course of the last couple of weeks. After the approval of multiple Bitcoin ETFs, for some reason, the idea of the next step has to be Ethereum ETFs. We've been constantly getting news about that over the last couple of weeks. And here's an update of an update of an update. It says the introduction of spot Ethereum exchange traded funds seems to be taking time. A lot of people on Twitter and online and on Reddit think that we're like getting them tomorrow. It took 10 years for Bitcoin. I don't understand this. Well, if Bitcoin got it, now it's time for us to get it as well. And it's like, okay, as the Securities and Exchange Commission has delayed their decision now on BlackRock's application. This sounds familiar. I assure you it's not. This further postpones the potential for wider investor access to the world's second largest cryptocurrency. It's not that deep. It's not that dramatic. Like, it's literally like, we don't need Bitcoin ETFs. We don't need Ethereum ETFs. They do or would help the price, but it's not that deep. Like, it's not like something that the market needs in order to move forward. The SEC, in a recent filing, cited the need for sufficient time to consider the proposal and the surrounding issues, extending the deadline to the 10th of March. This is following the other delay that we were just talking about for Fidelity's spot Ethereum ETF application, with a decision now expected by the 5th of March. So what we have right here is the expectation of BlackRock. People online assume that we are going to get Ethereum ETFs because BlackRock. If you don't know BlackRock, they're BlackRock. BlackRock is BlackRock. They own the world. You know, you can't have more than $11 trillion and be go, all right, you know, maybe. No, like, it's clear that they kind of control and own everything. At least so saith the internet. But the idea is that if BlackRock started the roll forward for the Bitcoin ETFs, therefore the Ethereum ones will also get accepted as well. There's some price predictions. I think the normalist ones, they kind of all range around the same. People are expecting that if there is an Ethereum ETF by the 5th or 10th of March, that Ethereum will be swiftly over $4,000 well before the halving. Which seems, sure, why not doable? It's more of a, I wish people just let things settle. Like, everyone just is so focused on like what the next thing is, what the next, you know, what the main crazy, cool, awesome thing has to actually be. And cool, if we get one, we get one. Fantastic. Ethereum's price will go up. There aren't, as far as I remember, I don't think there's going to be a massive sell-off of any type of like a Grayscale Ethereum thing. Grayscale does have an Ethereum fund, but they hold barely any Ether comparative to how much Bitcoin that they actually were holding. So any selling off would be like mathematically minimal. But cool, this is all over the place once again. I think there are 2 other companies who have also applied for spot Ethereum ETFs. They might not make it into the news. The only reason why Fidelity and BlackRock did is because they're Fidelity and BlackRock. And any type of a rejection or a delay, of course, is going to make headlines. But we'll see. We're not that far off. If it does work out, fantastic. For altcoins in the market, every time Ethereum does well, the altcoins also do well as well. But if we don't get this, It literally is fine because Ethereum is the most used blockchain on the planet. We are probably going to end up seeing an $8,000 to $10,000 Ether. So don't you worry, altcoins will be just fine. I think that's going to do it for this video. I do hope sincerely that you're all having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever the heck you might be. I do hope it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and or supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.